can the cure be worse than the illness if the illness is potential death? It's not about me, it's about we.
And I still can't get over how you look like you're going to beat your girlfriend afterwards. I'm sorry. All right, welcome to Born of Chaos. I'm Shane, and that other fucker is...
Kevin! Hey there!
Yes, that's Kevin. So...
Welcome to the show!
Oh, I wasn't supposed to bring that up first. Probably wondering why I'm wearing this mask, besides trying to look like Dr. Bane. Under a scalpel! But anyway, the fucking Prime Minister of Belgium, there's a fucking viral video that I found, and he can't figure out how to put on the mask.
You know what?
Which I think's fucking hilarious.
One thing about this whole coronavirus epidemic is that it's exposing just how stupid so many of these people are.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know, politicians, celebrities. I mean, I read this article the other day where they said the age of the celebrity is over. The age of celebrity worship is over.
I don't believe that at all.
I do to a certain extent.
I don't, because people are, even with what's going on right now, the second anything gets back to any semblance of normalcy, people are going to go right back to the same bullshit that they were doing before.
Yeah, probably.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So anyway, right. I got this video, this fucking guy.
Oh, here we go. He's already
first puts it on like the starts it out with like putting it on the front of his fucking forehead, like the weirdest yarmulke ever.
It's like, bro, your mouth is down here.
Dude, I don't get how you can't fucking figure that out. It seems pretty simple.
It. Play that one more time. I want to see. Okay.
Okay.
Look at it. On top of his head.
Yeah. Then over his eyes.
Then over his eyes. He's like, oh yeah, my mouth's down here.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense, you know.
Why do you start up here and then move down the face? Like, oh, didn't get it right the first time. Oh, well, got it.
Yeah, no, I mean it seems super complicated. So look, I have headphones on, and this is pretty easy. Put it over one.
Oh my God, man.
Put it over the other.
That looks so difficult.
That's fucking one way. Another way, just straight over both at the same time. I don't know why you would fucking start
right on the floor.
Like you're some sort of weird fucking ice cream man.
Oh my God.
You know? Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And the thing is, I really wish
he's supposed to be
the people around him so we could get their reactions.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the deputy prime minister of Belgium. So he should know something, right? Isn't that kind of the way it goes? You should know things.
You should. I mean, I figure when you get to that point, if you are a prime minister of a country, you should have your shit together. So, I mean, putting a mask on should not be a difficult problem for you to solve.
No, it shouldn't. I mean, it's a fucking mask.
How is Belgium doing right now, by the way, under this guy?
I don't know. Actually, let me check that out.
Jean-Claude Van Damme's labeled a saint by the state.
Well, he's not going to get coronavirus. He's their Chuck Norris.
By the way, I think I mentioned to you the other day, Jean-Claude Van Damme is now doing exercise videos on YouTube. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
So it looks like in Belgium, they had confirmed cases of just under 50,000, recovered cases of 12,000, and deaths of just under 8,000. So that's actually a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, it is, especially since Belgium's a smaller country.
Yeah. Well, and the weird thing is if the statistics are what they estimate that they are, you know, where roughly 50 to 70% are asymptomatic, that's still a pretty high percentage.
That is true. And that's one of the things too that I was reading was that the majority of cases are asymptomatic. Or they just got like a really light a cough or a tickle in the back of the throat or something for a few days or a week or whatever. But it seems like there's only a small percentage of people that are getting the really bad cases, and they still aren't sure why that is, because there's been some very healthy people, younger, healthier people that have gotten really bad cases and have died from it. And I know at one point they were saying maybe blood type is a factor, but I don't know if they don't really have any absolute, answers for it.
Yeah, it's definitely been weird, because it makes sense that it's hitting old people pretty hard, people with underlying conditions.
Sure.
But there have been some people that have been hit that it's really surprising.
Yeah, I heard this story about this girl who was like 16 or 17 years old, super healthy, an athlete, and no previous, health problems or anything like that. And she got it and was dead within like a week or so of getting it. And she got it.
Yeah,
really
that's pretty
bad.
fucking crazy.
But yeah, it's horrible. I mean, and because they like interviewed her mother, and it was just, it just hit so fast, it just, and then she went down, and nobody really knows why it affects people like that. Because I remember at first they were saying, oh, it's only the old and the infirm or people with underlying health conditions that have been getting these serious, the serious cases. And then now suddenly we're getting all these young people or people that are very healthy getting it. And then
yeah, I mean, Michael Yo, comedian, he got it and was hospitalized for a week.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And he's fucking young. He's in great health.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty crazy that somebody in good health ends up thinking that he's going to die because of how bad it was. And yet another guy right next to him, same exact fucking physical build, same conditions, like same health, essentially.
Yeah.
Feels nothing.
It's really bizarre. I actually, there's a couple of friends, mutual friends, you know a couple of these people too, and they thought that they had it, and it was just like a mild, itchy, scratchy throat, some cough, a little bit of a cough, and that's it. And they said, I'm pretty sure I had it, but it wasn't nothing.
Yeah. Well, I had a weird sickness, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It felt fucking weird. I never got like really sick. I went to work the whole time. Yeah. I felt really, really, really exhausted super quick. Mm-hmm. But outside of the super exhausted, I had a slight cough, a little itchy throat, a little bit of sneezing, some headaches from time to time, but no fevers, nothing like that. Now, I don't know if that was it, but if that's basically what the or almost asymptomatic people are, yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of fucking weird that's the way that worked out.
It is. And I mean, it's entirely possible, because what you just said, that sounds like a lot of the symptoms that people say that they had when they caught it. And fatigue being a big one, and the cough and the scratchy throat, those seem to be really indicative of it. And
yeah, well, the fatigue was probably the worst part, just because I probably an hour to 2 hours into work, I was just like dying, tired.
You felt like you'd already worked an entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fatigue sucks, man. It's
a little bit more.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Well, fatigue sucks, man. It's like, just if you got it bad enough, just lifting up like the TV remote can be a lot of tough work.
Yeah. Luckily it never got that bad.
Yeah. But that's how some of the people with the more harsh symptoms say that's how it is. It's like just doing simple things takes so much energy, and it just takes so much out of you.
Well, everything takes something out of you.
Well, true enough, but lifting a TV remote shouldn't be that difficult.
Well, it's good that your hair's not all Hitlery like it was earlier.
You want me to go slick it back for you?
Dude, I think you should, because seriously, when you do that, you do look exactly like Gavin Newsom and Richard Spencer's love child. 100%.
So
like,
not only
wanna,
am I like a white supremacist, but I'm also a horrible governor.
No, basically what you look like is you want to lead California to the Third Reich. Well, Fourth Reich.
I guess it would be the Fourth Reich now, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that 1,000 years didn't exactly last, did it?
Does Richard Spencer live in California?
I have no idea. What the fuck are you drinking?
This is pure leaf raspberry tea.
Oh.
Don't sue us.
This is whiskey.
Hey, nice. I've got some here too. I've got Jameson.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
Except,
hey, look at that. My bottle's clear on screen.
Mine is the cold brew.
Oh. Okay.
We're not sponsored by this at all.
We are not. However, Jameson is awesome. So
yeah,
if you like whiskey,
I do like it.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's solid shit.
It is awesome. It's really good. Hey, man, that's why they've been around since 1780 when they were established. You make good stuff.
That is what it says on the bottle.
It is what it says on the bottle.
The bottle and its wiki facts.
Are there wiki facts on there?
It's a fucking no. I'm basically comparing it to the wiki page. Gotcha. It says that on there. It says where it's brewed.
Hey, you can't. You're gonna have to expect the fact that some of the jokes that you lay are gonna fly right over my head,
or just fall completely flat like normal.
They don't always fall flat. I'd say the Nazi jokes are pretty funny.
Well,
and you know
I mean,
next time I'll do my hair like Hitler's if you want me to. I don't know. Actually, I think my hair's too long for that.
You probably should. Look, I guarantee if I just showed a picture of a Jew, all of a sudden you'd grow a really strong middle grow a really strong middle mustache, and then your hair would part on its own.
Oh God! You know, any of my family sees this, they're gonna think I'm some kind of a horrible Nazi. I'm not, okay? It's just a joke. I know everybody's so sensitive these days, but we're joking.
So the weird thing about Jameson, why? Okay, so it's called Jameson, but wasn't his name John Jameson?
I think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was actually Jameson. I don't know if it actually says on the bottle here.
It does on the signature.
It says John Jameson Way. The smooth Irish whiskey made the John Jameson way. I guess it was Jameson.
Mine says, let's see if we can get to it. It says John Jameson.
Really?
Yeah. Holy right there on the signature.
Oh, you're right. It does. Mine's got one of
those
too.
Definitely doesn't roll off the tongue like Jameson.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they just did that. They made that change for that.
Either that or since England controlled everything, England was probably like, you know what? We're not. No.
Thanks, England.
You're lucky you're not a Smith.
Yeah, that very well could have been too, because I've got Irish and Scottish ancestry, and both were ruled over by England.
Well, yeah, they weren't exactly nice to them over the years.
No, they weren't. That's kind of what that whole Braveheart story was about. Even though the movie, they took so many liberties historically and changed a lot. But I
actually watched that movie as if it was a documentary. I believe everything in it.
Hey, some people do, man. Some people don't realize that. Some people think those historical movies are like point by point facts.
Oh yeah, spot on. Where he fucks a chick that is actually born after his death.
Yeah, exactly. That princess.
Yeah. Wasn't she born like 70 years after his death?
It was a long time after his death. There's no way they could have met each other. And they did the same similar thing with Gladiator. Like the character Maximus in Gladiator is actually an amalgamation of like 3 different people that actually existed, and they merged them into one.
Yeah, but I didn't watch Gladiator thinking that this was about a historical figure.
No, well, that's the thing, though. Some people do. There's those people out there that actually take it like it's literal history. And they'll realize...
Yeah, I mean, I get it that fucking Joaquin Phoenix's character was a historical figure and all that shit.
And apparently, actually, based on the history I've read, Joaquin Phoenix played him really well. So he must have actually done some research on the actual Commodus.
Who was... Okay, Commodus.
Yeah, Commodus. Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't the one that was all riddled with syphilis and shit.
No, God, that one. I'm not sure which one that was. I know who you're. I know who you're talking about though.
I know, and if you only had a way to figure it out,
yeah, like
like
looking
some sort of some sort of computer in front of you or a phone.
Oh my God, we have magic powers now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Hey, I mean, honestly though, just looking at how the world has changed and what we have now compared to when we were growing up as kids, it is pretty amazing seeing how far we've come just in 30 some odd years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, shit, dude. I got into a little bit of virtual reality stuff.
Oh yeah, I haven't played much of that. I played a couple of stores and stuff.
Well, and I remember when I was a kid, there was that fucking Nintendo set thing that you could buy that you just wore on your head. It was this weird virtual reality thing.
Virtual Boy. Yes. Virtual Boy.
It was basic. It was almost like, oh fuck, what is the name of that movie? Tron. Yeah. It was kind of like watching Tron in a game.
Yeah, and it was all red
on your head.
It was all
all red.
Every game was red.
Yeah.
And I think they only made like 15 or 20 something games for that thing.
Yeah, I only played one, and it was at my neighbor's house. They got him a bunch of different things. But the way that virtual reality has changed.
Oh, it's amazing.
So much. Oh, now it is super immersive.
It really is. I've been wanting to try out that new Half-Life game, Alex. That's
same here.
It's apparently from what I've heard it's like revolutionized VR,
well, yeah.
like and taking it into a whole nother level,
One of the things that I liked about just watching the trailer of it was the fact that with your controllers, you can actually use them at, like your hands in the game, and you can move shit off shelves and stuff to find stuff behind.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So if you're looking for ammunition for your gun, you can move like a bottle of milk out of the way and there's 45 rounds.
You actually have to like fumble through stuff and move things, and that's so much cooler though. Like because that's how it would be in real life.
Well, yeah, at least from the trailers I saw. Now you can get into the game and then play it on your virtual reality and go, oh, this is not anywhere near. But from what I've played in virtual reality, because I play a flight sim that is in virtual reality, and it feels like you're fucking flying. Even though it doesn't look 100% realistic, you still feel like you're there.
Yeah,
that's the weird part about it.
Well, and I've only played a couple of them, but like I said, I went to a couple stores and played like demos, and there was this one. It was a Star Wars one, and it was I forget exactly what it was called, but like you are training to basically be a Jedi. Or, and in the beginning, like Darth Vader, you standing there in front of Darth Vader. Darth Vader walks up to you, and it's so cool because he's so tall. I mean, they got him like he is in the movies, and it's so interesting to just see Darth Vader standing right in front of you, handing you something, and taking it away. But I mean, it's a really, really cool game because like moving the lightsaber around and everything, it's very fluid and very realistic in the movements. Like the sword actually moves how you move, and wherever you hit on enemies, it hits right there. I mean, it's
was the game Trials on Tatooine?
I don't think so. Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
It was like something.
Well, there's Jedi Master,
something Darth Vader or something like that. It was like a Darth Vader story, or you're not playing as Darth Vader. You're playing as like an agent of his.
Okay.
And the demo I played is you're like training. You're in this sort of training area, killing droids and things.
The name of the game that I'm seeing right now, and it just came out.
Yeah, it was
last year. Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series.
I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Because what I was playing was like a demo, and the actual full game hadn't come out yet. So they had it set up at Best Buy on that new Oculus Go thing, or the cheaper Oculus they recently put out.
So was this what it looks like?
Yes. Except for I didn't get to be in that area. I was in some training area where you were fighting droids. It's fun. It's really cool. I was really impressed by it, by how good they've gotten that. And I was just blown away when I was standing there like moving the lightsaber around, just how responsive it is and how much it it just does whatever you do. And I just know the earlier virtual reality, you had like triggers and you could only really do so many movements and so many types of actions.
And the other crazy thing is like even the old stuff was still pretty fucking immersive.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, because I played like a zombie game on there, and it's all cartoonish, everything in it. But you feel like you're in this weird cartoon world.
Yeah.
So that's the weird thing about the games. Is like even though they can be really, really odd, they still feel realistic enough to where you're like, oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think obviously it's just getting better and better. And I really think that at some point VR will probably become a dominant force in gaming.
I think it absolutely will.
Because I mean, like, have you ever seen that movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
So it makes me think that, while it won't be exactly like that, I do think that once VR really does take off and they start really getting really good with it, I mean, as they are starting to, that it's going to be kind of like that, where maybe someone will create some kind of a shared open world where people can go in and just kind of do whatever they kind of want, like the Oasis in Ready Player One.
Yeah, well, we're either heading down that path or the path of surrogates.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a possible reality.
Yeah, we're all old, fat, shitty looking fucking humans, but we have pretty hot surrogates.
Yes. And actually, I thought that movie was a really cool idea.
I thought it was too. I like those weird, like technology movies.
Those what-ifs, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I even liked the movie In Time. I know that doesn't really have anything to do with virtual reality, but once you hit 25, you're 25 for life.
Yes.
And once you run out of time, you die.
And it's like
that's your currency.
Yeah, it's your currency. And I thought that was a good movie too. It was a really cool idea. And it was an original idea, and which is something you don't see that often in Hollywood these days. So whenever one does pop up, it's always great to see.
Well, yeah, it absolutely is. And the weird thing is, I always wanted to hate Justin Timberlake, but I thought he was pretty good in that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not a fan of his music.
No,
his music is like, it's just not my style. I like more metal and fucking punk rock and
I'm the same.
a little bit of hip hop, but so his music is not for me. But
sure,
seeing him on late night and actually he's funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. All right, I guess I kind of like this.
I know, it's like one of those
pretty
things
decent in movies.
Yeah, it's like you want to hate the guy, but then it turns out he's actually a cool dude. Like Ashton Kutcher, for instance. I could not stand that guy for so many years, and then I started hearing that he's doing all this great things for like women that have been sex trafficked, and like he went to, I guess, Congress and was trying to advocate for a bunch of them. He's got like this foundation he set up and everything, so he's actually out there doing really great things for people. And I'm like, well, fuck, I can't hate this guy.
The same thing with Kim Kardashian.
Yes, she's actually doing something good with herself.
But I still don't like her.
Yeah, I don't like her either. I don't like the Kardashians at all. I think they're
I first off, I don't like the fucking reality shows that are like, oh yeah, this is all real. No, this is you putting on your best face or your most dramatic face to fucking get views.
It's like the video version of Instagram. Everybody shows like their perfect side of their life.
Well, it's also like the video version of clickbait.
True.
The more clicks we get, the better we are. It's like, it's not really how it is. You're not necessarily a better person. And it all started with a sex tape.
Yep. All started with a sex tape. That's not as bad as it used to be anymore. Apparently now you get a sex tape, you get a contract with something, you get a contract to a TV show or whatever.
Or you end up starting your own fucking like cosmetic line or some weird shit.
Yep. A lot of them start clothing lines too and things like that.
I guess that's a way to do it.
I guess. How many clothing lines do we need?
I don't know. I'm sure you heard that in the background, but
I heard a kitty.
And it wasn't a kitty. So this lady decided to get herself stuck in a donation box.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
So
let's do our transition.
Yeah, we'll go into it.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid is, stupid does, Mrs. Blue.
To be a moron. Yeah, to be moronical.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded. In that... No. That's going to be a soundbite.
An imbecile.
Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
Picture me?
No. The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
I love it.
So yeah, this lady ended up getting herself stuck in a fucking donation box.
Yes. Oh my God, this.
Your arm is stuck?
Why?
What the
your arm.
you
Why is
doing
your
in
arm
there?
stuck, lady?
Well, and to describe it, it's one of those donation boxes where you lift the fucking door open, and the door, when it closes down on it, is, you know, I'm sure they're pretty heavy.
Oh, I bet. And they probably close down like that to
Hey, we
prevent
got somebody
people
coming,
sticking
okay?
And,
What's going
and
on?
the other thing is, I paused it real quick,
Yeah,
but
no
the other thing is, those doors, it's probably not just one door. It's probably the outside door,
And then there's
and then there's an inner door, so you can't do that, which is
Yeah.
probably why she got caught.
That's probably what happened.
feel your
Yeah,
arm
I was
right
kind of
now?
thinking the same thing.
So now she'd gotten out.
Holy
Now she's on the
Okay.
fucking hood of some dude's car.
Yeah, he just drove
You know,
up
I
and let
heard
her
you
lay on the hood of
screaming,
the
but I
car.
didn't know where the screaming was coming from. So we got medical help coming, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Okay. Just stay right there. They're coming, okay?
So she's been there for like, what, 45 minutes? I
You'll
think
be all
she
right.
said?
Yeah.
You'll be all right. Can you feel your arm right
45 minutes. It's like,
Okay,
dude,
Okay. We got medical
what the?
help coming.
Why would
okay?
you put your arm in there like that?
She's trying to
Okay.
steal free clothing. That's
Well,
it
that's what I was
sounds
gonna
like.
say. Unless
Yeah.
you're trying to fucking
No,
steal
I
shit.
know. We got medical help coming right now.
And it's like,
There's no
These
reason
things
if you were donating that you would ever put your arms that far in.
well, the thing is, they're donated things, so it's not like she couldn't, if she's on dire streets and she couldn't
You'll be
fucking
okay.
go and
The
get these
medical help's
things.
coming
Right.
right now.
Right. They give this stuff out. You just got to go to the right place to get them.
So I didn't watch this far into the
Yeah,
video
my hood.
before I sent it to you.
Oh yeah, this is
I
when
didn't- I
he's
didn't-
talking to the cops. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize the cops
Clothing.
came. I didn't realize the fucking fire department
Pulled up
came.
my car.
Yeah, they called out everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I get it. They don't know what is going to be needed there at
No.
the scene, so they're just
No, they got to send everything.
Yeah.
She was over there inside hanging out with her arm, and I kept hearing screaming from the paint store. I'm like, where's this coming from? So I drove over here. She was hanging out of it.
Hi.
I'm going to turn off your car. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, turn that
Oh
off.
boy, lady.
Yeah, I put the car up to get her out of it. Oh, this is your car.
So that's where the video ends. You know, I wonder, like, what is the thought process when you're like, oh, I need a shirt?
Yeah, I'm going to go down to that donation box and shrink. Not as easy
Yeah,
as you thought.
No, absolutely not. But there's plenty of places that you can actually get this shit.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I get it. She probably doesn't have a fucking cell phone and she can't look it up right away or anything like that. But, you know, libraries are free. You can go to a library.
Libraries are free. I mean, there's also
technically right now you can't do shit.
Yeah,
but
I think
I mean,
I think Salvation Army and stuff like that are probably still open or doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, dude, we live in a state where they closed down the mountains.
The
mountains.
They
They said you guys have to socially distance, but we're going to close down the mountains, which is the furthest away from everybody.
It's like it's out in nature. You know, you and I were talking about that not long ago, and then a friend of mine was telling me he went up to go, you know, do some target shooting, and can't go up to the mountains.
No, it's fucking stupid. And I know that they're supposed to be opening up, and for anybody that doesn't know, we're in Washington State.
Yeah,
Southwest Washington. And in Washington State, they closed down basically everything. Not to mention, we had the national shit that was shut down.
Yeah.
So any national parks were shut down. The only thing that was technically open, and I think still technically is open, is BLM. And everything that I've tried to look up for BLM, which is, you know, the Bureau of Land Management stuff in Washington, I can't find any areas. I can find shitloads of it in Oregon, but in Washington, I can't find it. So I don't know where the maps are to find that shit.
Yeah.
Even though it says that the Bureau of Land Management has stuff in Washington and Oregon, and I can't remember the other states. There's like 2 other states.
So they're basically doing this organization is just doing a blanket shutting down of all of these different things. Just any state that they're in.
Well, BLM wasn't shut down, and I don't think it's shut down still. So it's the only thing that I think that's open in the Northwest, or at least for any fun stuff.
Yeah, and Governor Jay Inslee just pushed back the again to like the end
look
of
at
May.
Look at what Kate Brown did. She moved it to July 6th.
Jesus.
July 6th.
People are going to be pissed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
People already are. Did you see what's going on in Michigan?
You're looking at over 2 months that they're shut down again.
Yeah. Well, did you see what was going on in Michigan? I guess protesters came in armed and were protesting at the what was it, the courthouse or the something like that? It was but it was you got armed protesters. I mean, nobody was firing anything. Nobody was pointing their guns at anyone. But
I was also seeing some weird false equivalents.
Oh, really?
Where they were like, so you're not for Colin Kaepernick kneeling, but you're okay with these guys protesting. I'm like, well, first off, there's a problem there where one is a private entity.
Yes.
The NFL can do whatever the fuck they want and tell their players to do, hey, you can't do that. And the other is in front of a fucking courthouse, which is a public place.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you have the right to assemble.
Yes.
So they are different. Now,
they are different.
Do I support both of them in protesting what they want to sure. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a shit either. When everybody was angry about that Colin Kaepernick thing, I just thought, dude,
I like how you call him Colin. I like how you call him Colin Kaepernick, like he's some sort of Pink Panther fucking bad guy.
Pink Panther bad guy.
Colin Kaepernick. He got it. He pulled a really good caper on us. Yeah.
He's like Colin Kaepernick is a master of heists. He's a diamond thief.
Yes, like he's in the Italian Job.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But no, like when that whole thing happened, I didn't really understand why people were so angry about it. All they were doing was kneeling, and I get it. You want to watch your football and all that, and they need to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I remember when that shit happened. A lot of people were saying things like, it's completely un-American and all this shit. The soldiers didn't die for that, and I'm like, well, actually, the soldiers died for free speech.
For that,
that is a free. It is a free speech issue.
Exactly.
Now, if the NFL says you can't do that, does it become a free speech issue anymore? And I say no.
No,
because the reason is because that's a private entity.
Yes.
They're look, I don't like the fact that seatbelt laws are a thing. I think seatbelt laws should be given up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think personal safety should be your own fucking choice.
I agree that personal safety should be your own
choice.
But I also understand why they do the seatbelt laws, because people are
I don't. I think seatbelt laws are absolute bullshit. But I work for a company that says that I have to wear a seatbelt. And so since they say I have to wear a seatbelt, fine.
When you're on the clock,
I get it.
Sure.
Yeah, I get it. But if, I don't agree with the government saying it, because the government should be able to say that someone under 18 should wear a seatbelt, or you shouldn't be able to smoke in the car with your, kid under 18. Fine. I have no problem with that. I don't necessarily believe that as many people die of secondhand smoke as they say. I think that's almost bullshit. But yes, there's always outliers.
There's always outliers, and one of the things people like to do to push their agenda is they will take that data. They'll just take that little piece of data and they'll use that, and they will leave out, conveniently the rest of the data showing that these are actually a small contingent of this, of this what's going on here, and you're making it sound like there's a lot more there than there really is.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like I'm the only one drinking on this podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on. I'll change that.
You son of a bitch. I've been drinking since like fucking 3. It's 5:50.
Dude, I drank almost this whole bottle last night.
Well, it does look like you're holding up one of those Pac-Man ghosts.
It does, doesn't it?
What the fuck is going on?
I don't
like
know.
it's just eyeballs.
Eyeballs and a tongue.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the tongue was part of it. Now I got to look up a fucking Pac-Man ghost.
Oh wait, no, I don't think they had a tongue. Yeah, it was just the eyeballs. When you ate the little fruit and they went after him, yeah.
I like how I type in Pac-Man ghost and not one fucking Pac-Man ghost comes up.
What came up?
All the I mean, I guess they're always ghosts technically.
But they're
it's it's just showing them a regular.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you're right though. It was just the eyeballs that were visible when you ate the fruit.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. None of this is showing shit. Yep. See? Look, I'm not seeing shit on here.
Hey, Pac-Man has a tongue.
I don't think that's actually supposed to be the way Pac-Man looks.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, man, Google the algorithms and everything and the search. They
like I get.
I don't like the way that they've been doing these things with the algorithm. I don't like the fact that they are propping up things like legacy media and other people that are basically in some way and somehow in business with them and or is working alongside them because they all have the same sort of goals. But they're also, because of that, these algorithms are destroying people's careers. I mean, the livelihoods of YouTubers and independent media, especially. They're really going after independent media. That's why even though you're not subscribed to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and all these things, no matter what, they're going to pop up in your recommended. No matter what.
Yeah, my thing is like what's the most popular? That should probably be the one that pops up.
Sure.
And
the thing is, the more popular ones are independent.
Well, there's a podcast that I listen to, Legion of Skanks, right? And on YouTube, I subscribe to it. But if I go to type them in, I have to type out the whole fucking thing because it won't pop up unless I do.
Right, and that's part of this whole algorithm thing that they're doing.
Well, which is kind of fucked up because they're actually pretty popular.
They are. Legion of Skanks is a huge podcast.
Well, they've also been, I think, kicked off of YouTube like 3 or 4 times since I've been listening to them, which has only been like a year and a half.
Yeah, and the thing is though, it was probably for stupid ass reasons because YouTube has been getting way more stringent with their rules and regulations, and I mean, really, and some YouTubers have pointed this out. They've done whole videos just going through the new, guidelines and all this, and it seems like they are deliberately making some of these rules vague so that they can abuse the system.
Well, that's actually that sounds a lot like Twitter too.
Twitter is exactly the same way. They're doing the Twitter people that run it. They absolutely.
Who is that runs it? What is it? Jack Dorsey?
Jack Dorsey, yeah. Joe Rogan had him and some other woman that works for Twitter on there. Her name was Vivian or something. And I remember Tim Pool was on there as well. And Tim Pool was just grilling these people on the show. And
no, Tim Pool is actually great.
I like Tim Pool. Yeah, he's a straightforward guy, and he just calls it like he sees it. And whether you like that or not, hey, I like it when people call it like they see it, and I like the truth rather than bullshit. Which we're getting a lot of bullshit out of legacy media. And for those listening, when I say legacy media, if you don't know what that means, I'm talking about companies like MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, Washington Post, New York Times. Those are considered legacy media. And when I say independent media, I'm talking about people on YouTube, people that are running little fledgling news groups that are actually investigating and doing these stories on things that legacy media don't want to talk about because it makes them look bad or makes their political side look bad.
So, you mean like all the Joe Biden stuff that's coming up lately?
My God. Holy shit. Dude,
this wasn't even supposed to be one of our topics.
I know. Dude, if you want to see a double standard in action, holy shit. Look into the Joe Biden sexual assault charges.
Well, and I'm stupid enough to think that it was Tara Reid from fucking American Pie.
I thought about that too when it said Tara Reid. Oh God. I know. I was thinking, dude, wait, Joe Biden fingered the girl from American Pie?
I'm like, all right. I don't know why she doesn't seem very political. I mean, how many super political chicks buy fake tits that are terrible?
Well, also, have you ever seen the American Pie Tara Reid in like a interview or anything? The girl is dumber than a box of rocks, man.
See, I haven't sought it out because I haven't given a shit about who she was probably since American Pie.
She hasn't. I don't think she's really been relevant since American
Pie.
And
when was American Pie? What, 97?
90? Yeah, between like 97 and 99 or something like that. I know it was at the end of the 90s. I do know that. The first one anyway.
And the first one was great.
Oh yeah. The first.
So
one
was the
great.
second one actually.
Sure. No, I mean I think they all had some of their moments, but the first two were definitely the best.
1999.
1999. Okay, we were pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was in the 90s though. I knew it was like at the tail end of the 90s because I remember I was still in high school. I was
just out of high school.
You were just out of high school. Yeah.
This shows how old we are.
I know, right? I was class of 2002.
Really? You're that stupid? I thought you were...
Hey, man. What can I say?
I didn't think you were that much fucking younger than me. How old are you?
I turned 36 this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I thought you were older than that.
Well, if you're going by my leap year age, I'm like 9.
Yeah. No. Well, I also didn't know that you leap year.
Yeah.
I find new things out of about friends that I've known for 20 years on a podcast.
Hey, that's what this is for, man.
Well, yeah, dude. Look, I was talking to Jake, which is one of our friends, mutual friend between me and Kevin. Just probably a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And he had told me something that I didn't know I did. And Kevin knew I did. I showed up to Kevin's house, apparently, picked up Jake and this kid, Chris, and we drove off. I think you stayed at your house, right?
I think so, yeah, that night.
Yeah.
Because I only heard about this later.
Fuck, I just heard about it 20 years later. So I had no fucking clue this happened. We drove off, and apparently we drove by a garbage can, and I tell Chris in the back seat of the car, I say, hey, Chris, grab that garbage can. And so Chris does. Apparently I'm wasted. I don't remember any of this. And the thing is,
we're wasted.
Dude, the weird thing is, I only remember ever being blackout drunk once before that, and I woke up looking like Raggedy Andy. That's another story for another time. But anyway, so now I find out that I've been blackout drunk twice. And this blackout drunk, I drive off. I tell Chris to grab this garbage can, and then we see an SUV on the side of the road. And apparently I say, Chris, you fucking throw it at it. And he apparently throws it at it, shatters the back window. I don't know where we went after that.
Target locked, mission accomplished.
Fuck. Dude, it's so weird to find out about something you did 20 years later. Like, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole time when Jake's telling me, I'm like, was I there? I don't remember any of this. He's like, dude, you were driving.
He's like, you definitely were there.
So Kevin, you got to fill me in a little bit. Did I start out drinking at your house?
I think so. I don't think you had drank before because I remember you were glad that we had alcohol at the house.
Wow.
Because I think.
What did you have?
Was Tyler there?
Was it whiskey? Too? I have no fucking clue. I don't remember any of the night.
I know we had beer because we always had the Beast. We always had Milwaukee's Best,
which I hated.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I got used to it because that's what my dad used to buy. But I don't know. I think we might have had some liquor. And if we did, it would.
Well, Jake was saying something about whiskey. Yeah, he was saying whiskey.
Yeah, it would have been either Jack Daniels, Evan Williams, or Wild Turkey around that time. That's what.
Ooh, Wild Turkey. I know that. At least from what I remember from my past is Wild Turkey. If that was around, I drank a lot of that shit.
Wild Turkey's awesome. I love that stuff.
So that could have easily been Wild Turkey.
It could have been. It probably was too, especially if Tyler was there, because that was one of Tyler was way into Wild Turkey back then.
Well, and you fucking remember Red?
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, that guy was his family. It's weird because I always thought he was a crazy guy, and then I met his fucking family.
His family's crazy.
Dude, me and Jake went over there once. Dude, I walk into this fucking house. This is the most dilapidated place I've ever fucking been.
Holes in all the walls and stuff from fists, from people punching the walls.
Not fists, not just fists, shotguns. They've shot shotguns through the fucking walls. Okay? So I walk into this house. Shotguns have been shot through the walls already before I'd ever been in the house. I get into this house. I go to sit down. There's cat shit on the fucking arm of the couch. That's how disgusting this place was. Like, if you think of trailer trash, these guys are like 3 levels worse than
that house was
terrible.
Trashed all the time, man. Anytime I went into that house, dude, it was just,
God,
worse than the last time.
Fucking amazing how people can live. I don't get it.
It was a literal pigsty, man. It was so bad.
Dude, okay, I grew up basically on a farm for most of my life, right? So I think when I was, I don't know, probably 7 or 8, we moved to a place that had land, got horses, got some cows. And I mean, it's not like a traditional farm. It's not big, but it was on about an acre, and living with horses and cows and shit, so I knew what dirty was when it came to the outside. Their house was 1,000 times worse than that. Dude,
we should have condemned the place and burned it down.
First off, who the fuck lets a cat shit on the arm of the couch? What fucking cat does that in the first place?
Right.
All you have to do is show them a litter box like twice, and they know where to go.
And they go straight to it. But also, why would you not clean it off the seat, off the arm of the couch? I mean,
yeah.
Someone going to sit there, they're going to stick their damn hand in it. Oh, that's going to feel great.
I definitely didn't. I sat pretty fucking close to it. I was on the fucking cushion that was right next to that arm. Ugh. It was, dude, it was fucking disgusting. And that wasn't the only shit around the house.
I know.
It's like, I don't get how, like, I have a couple ferrets, and, every once in a while they'll shit outside the cage. But most of the time they'll go into the cage and, take a shit there. Mm-hmm. Those are ferrets. Ferrets aren't as smart as cats.
No, they're not. And but actually, your ferrets are pretty smart.
Well, they're assholes.
They are assholes.
I'm going to tell you,
they're hilarious.
this fucking week, Pennywise, which is one of my ferrets, I've got Pennywise and Gizmo.
Good names. Good names.
Pennywise now chases me around the house and will fucking chew on my fucking ankles. It's super annoying.
He's like a sheep herder dog, going after your ankles.
Oh, she's a little fucking, and I didn't even realize it was a she until recently, because when I bought her,
you told me about that.
Yeah, when I bought her, the store that I bought her from was like, yeah, no, it's a male. I'm like, all right, it's a small male. Well, the other one that I have is a small male, so perfect. They can get along, they can play, whatever. Then recently, I was looking at Gizmo upside down, and I'm like, Gizmo's got this weird belly button, and Pennywise doesn't. So that's how I found out. Just noticing Gizmo on his back.
Well, and apparently the people that ran that store didn't know shit about ferrets then.
No, it definitely, it was kind of shocking to find out almost 2 years later. Oh no, it's a female. Not that it matters.
No, I matter that much, but
I like the personality of the ferret. The ferret's crazy.
Sure. Oh yeah, she's great. I love when you bring her out whenever I'm over there. She's well,
and the fucking cat is crazy too. She fucking. It's weird how the cat almost likes you.
Almost.
And then tries to kill you when you get near her.
I feel like she enjoys being adversarial to me.
100%.
Which usually I'm actually really good with animals, and usually animals tend to like me a lot. But your cat wants to just fuck with me.
Yeah. No, I like it. She goes up to you to get you to pet her, and then you go to pet her. She wants to fucking cut your head off.
Yes. And
it's great.
She's drawn blood more than a few times.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really bother me that much. I've had pets my whole life, so it's no big deal. But still.
Well, that's how I feel. Dude,
she's a little shit.
You have no idea that my hands are completely covered. And the thing is, I probably wouldn't even have a cat if my ex didn't get the cat and then fucking take off and not take the cat. So that's how I got a cat.
Yeah.
Preferably I'd rather have a dog. And the reason is dogs, they're just more personable.
That's true. They are more personable, and they also seem to have a little more respect for their owners. Cats are just like, feed me now. Do this for me now. Oh, I don't want to be pet. Go the hell away.
You're completely on or I've got my cat. I wake up in the morning at like 4:50, get ready to go to work, and the cat's like fucking, lovey-dovey all over me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to get ready. Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, it's like,
and that's what I get.
It's my time to be loved now. Love me.
No,
that's how it goes with them.
No, so that's what I got to deal with it. I mean, it's not that bad. I get it. Some people are dealing with kids that haven't been in school for months.
Sure.
Other people are dealing with whatever the fuck they're dealing with. I've got it pretty decent.
Yeah.
I deal with that. That's not that bad.
And speaking on that, I mean, I have a coworker that had to take FMLA just because her kids are out of school, and are at home, so she can't be at work all day. She's got to be with the kids, and that's happening to a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, and the fact that I think that we're getting close to like depression level out of work.
Yeah.
People
unemployed. The amount of people who have applied for unemployment is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hearing numbers of over 30 million people were trying to get into it like every day.
Well, and I don't know what the actual percentage of the workforce that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
Or the people that could be in the workforce that are not in the workforce. You know what I mean? If it does get to depression level shit, because the depression was weird because it took from what was it, 1928 when it started to, I believe, 1932.
Before it started to.
Well, 32 is when the peak happened, I believe.
Okay.
So when it took 4 years for the peak to happen.
Yeah.
And with this whole coronavirus thing, we're getting to the peak in 2 months.
Yeah, but then they're also saying that we may have to do this intermittent shutdown thing in the future just to prevent
oh, that should be fun.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, because they're saying this could come back again next season, like the flu does. We get the flu every season. And if that happens,
we're gonna have to get more police shit, more fucking things like people getting arrested for just random shit that never would have gotten you arrested before.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a guy that was arrested for having his daughter in the park. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's recently we had a shooting near us.
Yes, we did, and it was it was a pretty. The situation, I mean, it's kind of been causing a little bit of a stir in Vancouver, in Clark County, because, well, it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of showing a problem. It's illustrating a problem that has been going on with at least our police force, but I know this is happening with a lot of other police forces as well.
I don't think it's just us.
No. But this is a problem that has been growing for a while, and like you were talking about how the police are very much more militant than they used to be.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the big key shift for the militarization of the police force was probably the Hollywood shootout. That was the big key change.
Hollywood shootout.
When that happened,
which one?
The Hollywood shootout, when the two guys ended up robbing that bank with full body armor. They were both on barbiturates. They ended up, when they left, the only reason, like, they had done this numerous times before, where they had robbed. Okay. Yeah, they had robbed banks, full body armor, fully automatic guns, everything like that. The police force was just not ready for it. When they left the place, the only reason that this whole thing happened was a police officer happened to be driving by when it happened.
Just a lucky roll of the dice right there.
Well, I don't know how lucky it was.
Well,
I mean,
he was
it was
in the
crazy.
Right place at the right time to find out about it. I mean,
kind of. I mean, the whole thing that was weird about it was the fact that, like, the police before this, I mean, they basically had revolvers and some semi-automatic guns,
9mm pistols, things like that.
357 Magnums, 38 Special, 9 mils, 45s, 40 cals. That's basically what they had. They went up against fully automatic machine guns, basically.
Yeah. And guys
AK
decked in body armor that could take a 9mm or a handgun bullet.
They had made this stuff homemade stuff. So I think that's where this shift. Yeah, that's where the shift happened, I believe, from, police forces being, a response unit, somebody that solves crimes, to now they go in and they're like an interdiction force. They go in and they prevent stuff by shooting first.
Yeah. And we're definitely seeing a lot more of that. And yeah, this okay, so this shooting that happened, which we're gonna show the video of, watching this, you can't help but wonder, hey, why did they not try any of their more non-lethal means in this situation? Because there's a point in this. I mean, they already have this guy outnumbered, and they don't even make an attempt at a non-lethal solution. I don't see them using tasers. I don't see them trying to get the guy down on the ground together. Because with all those, there's like 6 or 7 cops there, and they could easily overpower this guy.
Well, and from what I'm counting right now, just looking at the video, I can see 6 police officers in the video.
6 police officers, okay. And there's probably more off outside.
Oh, absolutely. This is not going to be everything. It's videoed from somebody's phone within their car.
Yeah.
In the same parking lot is where it happens. Apparently, the guy was a homeless man who had mental health issues.
Yes, and actually,
which I believe is what most homeless people are.
Well, I guess it depends.
Mental health issues.
Sure.
I think I looked at a stat, and the stat was 90% to 95% of the homeless people are either mental health issues or drug issues, and the rest of them, might be people that are actually down on their luck.
Sure. And that does happen. It does.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why maybe it was a bad idea in the 80s to shut down every single one of our state health institutes.
Yes. Something they wish that they could have gone back on now, but...
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, this guy who was shot, now, a friend of mine has a roommate who apparently says that I guess he works in mental health counseling and things like that. And apparently this guy who was shot in the video was actually one of his clients.
Oh,
and
okay.
So, yeah, he knew the guy. And
maybe you can find some more background shit on it and let us know.
Yeah.
For later on.
Absolutely. But, so apparently the guy did have some psychological problems that he was dealing with. So that makes this even more questionable with the way the police handle this.
Yeah, and I've got the video at 224 in. The first, 224, it's basically them trying to negotiate. I don't know how long they were negotiating before this, because basically I saw in the beginning of the video the same amount of cops as there are now. So here we go.
Yeah.
Get it done and over with.
Right, I bet you if I walked over there and was like, you just do something.
This guy's obviously not in his right mind, and these guys have AR-15s, pistols on them. Like, I get it, but, like, all they have to do, they have fucking 7 guys here. All of them just need to pull out their tasers and tase this guy in every spot.
Right.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I understand he's throwing rocks, he's doing what he's asking to get killed, but...
Okay, so this is where it's about to happen. By the way,
and right there, you can actually hear more officers joining it.
Yeah.
I know he says that you can see 7, but we can only see 6.
Right. Yeah, there's only that many frames. Oh, by the way, for those of you that live in Clark County or near Clark County, this actually happened on 4th Plain in Stapleton, like right down the street from Goodwill, and it's kind of that area there by the Kyocera, the like tech center area.
Dude, this is right next to the food store. I believe it's right on the fucking corner.
Yeah, it's
Kyocera. So if you're looking at the video, off to your left would be Kyocera, down about 1,000 feet. Just down the road through the trees that are within the video, that would be Fort Vancouver High School.
Yes,
the high school is not very far from here.
And just down the road from there is Clark College.
Well, Clark College is pretty far down. Clark College is basically. It's pretty far. Yeah. But the closest school would be Fort Vancouver. Now, luckily, nobody's in school right now.
Right.
So
no kids had to see this.
No, and we're gonna pick up the video again. There's the first shot.
Oh, he just Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So now the first shot, the
guy started walking away. He was retreating after that first shot, and then the cop just kept shooting him in the back.
So we'll start it again from there. The guy's walking towards the officer. Officer fires one shot.
Walks back.
Second shot he shoots.
Oh my god.
The second shot he shoots him in the back.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm one of those people that I look at these and I don't immediately go to either side, because I know that the officers eventually said that, you know, he had a weapon on him, and in this video at this point it does not look like it.
Yeah, he didn't. And actually he does have these two, it looks like either sharp objects or sticks or something like that earlier on, and he actually puts them back onto his cart. So when he approaches the officer, he is unarmed.
And we're actually at the point, so I rewound the video a little bit, and it looks like he's at his cart right now, and he's coming back with
guys,
nothing.
Don't shoot this guy.
And apparently he has been tased already at this point.
Has he really?
But
I didn't. Yeah. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't think that.
Well, the person in the vehicle is like, tase him again.
We don't need this.
And he's putting on a jacket.
Yeah.
So he puts on the jacket, and then this is where kind of everything stalls out for a bit.
Yeah. Well, and when he puts on his jacket, my first thought was that he was putting on the jacket to protect himself from the tasers.
Yeah, and that's probably what it was.
Yeah, extra protection.
And now, on one hand, you can say the cops don't know what he has in the jacket. I get that.
And that's true. They don't.
100% true. You have no idea. He could have a gun. He could have a knife. He is walking towards an officer. Now, when he walks towards the officer, you can see him, you know, getting ready. It looks
Look at
like
all of these police officers. Not one of them is just.
It looks like both of his hands are out of the fucking jacket.
Tackle this guy. Get him over with.
I bet you if I walked over there and was like, they just
and I can't tell from the video if he's a black guy, a white guy, Mexican guy. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's not very clear.
I get it, but like all they have to do, they have fucking 7 guys here. All of them just need to pull out their tasers and tase this guy in every spot.
Right.
They could have tried that, and they did. I didn't see them.
This is ridiculous.
Tasering him in all the different spots.
I mean, I understand he's throwing rocks. Yeah. He's doing what he's asking to get killed.
He was throwing rocks at the cops too.
Yeah, and
he threw 1 or 2 of them.
Oh, he just
and right there you don't see him have a weapon at all.
Oh my god.
There's definitely no weapon.
Oh my god, they just shot him.
And I actually rewound it a couple of times to check, and he does
put
the weapons that he did have onto that cart.
They just shot him.
Yeah. And you know, so I don't. It's one of those things that's like, it's hard to say. That the cops are justified. It's also hard to say that they're not justified. I mean, he is walking towards an officer who does not know what he has.
True, but you know, the way
the fuck did you just eat? Are you eating Oxycontin right now?
No, it's nicotine lozenges.
Oh, okay. These are
my cigarettes.
Yes. Those cigarettes are really going to get you high.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Because the thing's green, you can only... Oh, wait, there we go. Nicotine.
Yeah, I know that's what you have it in.
I'm proving it to the audience.
So if anybody doesn't know, Kevin used to have a problem.
Yeah, so I don't imbibe on those things today.
No,
these days.
No, dude, I remember the days of your problem. It was different.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't. You know, it's weird. Like, even though I used to take oxys at probably around the same time you did.
Yeah, everybody sort of kind of got.
The weird thing is, though, I didn't hang out with you during that time because I had heard that's all you did.
No, well, it wasn't all I did, but eventually,
no, but that was a majority.
It didn't get any better, because of that stuff. But
no, and that's kind of the way it goes.
And the thing is too is that I was one of those people that
holy shit,
I got into a car accident, and the doctors were just feeding them to me. And
dude, it's also crazy. Remember when you got in that drunk driving accident and Chris Myrick? Yes, I'm saying his name.
He ran. He
ran away.
He left the truck before it even stopped moving.
Yeah, and then left you to fucking get in trouble by yourself.
Yes. Yes. Good pal.
I also remember the time that you were going to go and slice the cops up with your fucking samurai sword.
Yeah, I was a drunk 16-year-old.
I
had seen far too many movies, and I didn't understand at that point that you cannot deflect bullets with a sword.
I mean, you could try.
Oh, you could try. You could try, but you're not going to get anywhere with it.
No. So we also had a news report that was
about this
part of that. Yeah, that happened. And
we just found out that the suspect died at the hospital.
The weird thing is, see the black news reporter?
Ken Body. Yeah, that's his name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I actually met him once at a
yes, so did I.
I met him at an IHOP on the way to the beach to Lincoln City.
Well, I met him once too. I used to work at the World Trade Center of Portland.
Uh-huh.
I had to kick him out of the consulate building.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I just went up and said, "Hi, nice to meet you, sir," and then we walked off. You kicked him out of a building.
So your experience is like, "Hey, I've seen you on the news.
Yeah.
Cool guy. What's up?"
Yeah.
He was very
nice.
My experience is I get a call on the radio. You need to go out into the consulate building and you need to kick this guy out. I had to kick him out and his cameraman.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fucking story was. I don't know what he was in there for, but I had to kick him out. So anyway, we'll go back to this.
The incident started around 11 o'clock yesterday on Northeast Stapleton and East 4th Plain when police responded to reports of a fight. They found one man unconscious on the ground and the suspect holding what they describe as sharp objects. Investigators say the man refused to drop those objects. We have video of the incident and edited out the moment that the man was hit, but some of you may still find
what they just said.
Okay, so elaborate on that.
Okay,
well, technically, we should probably watch what they have.
Yeah,
first.
let's finish watching this.
Okay, so right now in the video, you can see that there is nothing in either hand.
Nothing. Yeah, and so on the news reporter had just said that the police had said he refused to drop these sharp objects that were in his hands. And the thing is, you can clearly see in the full video that he absolutely does. He puts it on he puts them on the cart, and when he's walking towards the cop, he is not armed.
No.
At least not in his hands. In his hands, he had no weapons.
The one thing I will say is the video that they have is actually way worse than the video that the guy got from his car.
Yeah.
The video that they have, you can't tell. And it almost looks like they're taking video from a video with a phone.
It does. This one,
well, it's odd because you can see this weird reflection in it. And I can see a reflection of a car right here and a car right here.
Yeah, and those video artifacts weren't in the video that we saw earlier.
No, they weren't.
And this also looks like it's zoomed in.
Yes.
And
so you can't see any of the officers. I believe that was done on purpose, which I get. You don't want to show the officers. They're not the ones. I mean, technically they are part of this whole investigation, but they're talking about the suspect now. And here, I'll go ahead and play it from here.
Yeah.
We are told that no officers were hurt. The dead suspect's name is not being released as of yet. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation.
Okay, so the thing is that them cropping out, zooming in and cropping out all the rest of the cops, that, I mean, like you said, that was obviously purposeful. Now, the thing is that one would think that maybe coming from a certain point of view, seeing that how outnumbered this guy was to the cops, some would say that it didn't warrant that kind of excessive force, because you had 6 or 7 cops there, able-bodied, strong, healthy guys, trained in what police are trained in, and all 6 or 7 of them could not or would not try to detain him. I would think that, in this situation, you could even have guys with riot shields come in and just knock his ass down, and
the problem with riot shields is you actually have to have riot shields on you.
Right, but I mean, that's something they could bring in. They're holding this guy at bay. He's obviously walking around.
Now,
the police had time to bring something like that.
Now, most people don't know that Stapleton, 4th Plain, is literally right next to the cop shop.
It is. They're literally that spot.
It's 1,000 feet away.
Yes,
it's 1,000 feet.
Right there. Yes.
Yes.
So they've got the resources right there. So I just feel like watching that video. I feel like the police could have done more to prevent this man's death, and I honestly think that they should not have done lethal force in that moment, because I feel like there was other ways they could have prevented the guy from hurting anybody else or himself. I feel like if they had all done something together and overpowered him, then it would have been a much different situation than it turned out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. The weird thing is, the weird thing is it's hard to say, because I don't know how erratic he was acting before the video.
That's true. We only see so much.
That does play a lot into it. And I know people go, I saw this small portion of it. So this small portion of it is the 100. It's all of it.
True.
And it's like, that's not true, because
context is everything,
Well, and you're not dealing with robots.
Right.
If you were dealing with robots, I'd be like, yeah, well, the robots shouldn't have shot at him. But you're dealing with humans, and humans have emotions. So those police officers had a lot of shit happen beforehand. And I also started the video 2 minutes, 44 seconds into it.
Yeah. So this little standoff that was going on had been going on for a little while before what we just watched. And another thing I do know, because I read an article about this, apparently this all started from a fight. I guess this guy had knocked some other person out or something like that. So there was another individual that was hurt and was either unconscious or, just hurt and caused by this guy. So, there's that too to consider. He had already hurt somebody, and so the police were probably, expecting him to try to hurt someone else. He was
that's the thing. That's why I say that you can't really say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that, without the whole story.
That's true.
And my thing is, it's hard for me to have an opinion either way. And the reason is because I want to know more.
I do too. I want to know more as well. Yeah.
And I can't know more. And the reason I can't know more is because I'm going to hear what the media says, and the media doesn't know everything.
No, and you're going to get the official story coming out of the police.
Yes.
So it's really hard to say. And honestly, already it sounds like they're doing a bit of spin there because of like that news report we just saw. It feels like there's definitely some effort going into trying to make it look like the police were much more justified in what they did.
Yeah.
So
and the other thing is, like, I've constantly seen this over the years, where you get people that go, I hate the police no matter what they do, or you have the other side that no matter what the police do, they were justified. I think both sides are 100% full of shit.
Yeah, I used to be on the other side. I used to be the side that did not trust the police no matter what, and that's based on my negative experiences with them, because I've seen the
negative experiences where they touched your balls and then you had to cut them with a samurai sword.
No, I'm talking about like I have seen friends beaten up by the police.
Yeah,
nothing.
No, I get it. And one of the things remember what Jake had told us. Jake, who lived in what was it, San Francisco, or was it close to it?
I think he was he out in Oakland?
No, he was south of Oakland.
He was in San Leandro, wasn't that it? Leandro, yeah.
So he was there, and he would go to Oakland to get his heroin, right? And when he'd go to Oakland to get his heroin, when they got caught by the cops would just take the heroin and beat the shit out of him and tell him, you don't come into this neighborhood anymore. Now, that was back in the early 2000s, but the early 2000s, that's still not that long ago.
No, it wasn't. I mean,
and the cops are still beating the shit out of people.
They are. And it feels like we were talking about before, now that with them getting more militant, these shootings, I started actually looking into this recently. And okay, last year, for instance, there was a lot of police involved shootings in the Clark County area, more so than there had been the year before that. So, it's like I feel like there's an escalation happening here, and
there definitely is.
And obviously, I don't know all the details of all those different shootings and stories, so maybe they were completely justified. But I still feel like trying to go for the non-lethal approach first, and the lethal approach being your absolute only choice if it's, like, obviously if somebody pulls a gun on you, obviously you have to shoot back. I get that. But I mean, like, in a situation where, like what we just saw in this video, if you've got someone who seems to be unarmed, even if they are crazy or if they are unhinged, I feel like you should still try to go for that non-lethal approach if you are able, unless it's...
Well, and the thing is, I don't know what they were thinking at the time.
I don't,
because
you're never. We can't. Yeah, we definitely.
You're never going to find that out, and the reason you're never going to find that out because the official police report is going to be what they feel after it, not what they felt at the time. What they feel after it, because 100%, dude. If you fill out a report 5 hours after something happened, you're going to have time to think about it and time to be able to change what you need to fit the actual narrative of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the weird thing is, like, yes, I would love to see it if they can do this non-violently, but the problem is you can't do everything non-violently.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean,
it's one of the reasons why I don't know if you saw what happened in Canada this week, but Trudeau just banned 1,500 different types of firearms. 1,500. 1,500.
So I heard that there was some kind of a law. That
there was a shooting up there.
I didn't know what it all was. I didn't know the details of it.
There was a shooting up there in Canada. A guy decided that he was going to dress as like an RCPM, Royal Canadian or RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He dressed as one of those guys, started pulling people over, shooting them, and all that shit, and did this for a while.
What a piece of shit.
Well, and I think it lasted like 3 or 4 hours. I mean, that's a long time.
So he went on a rampage.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in response to that, they decided to ban a bunch of firearms. Now, were all those firearms used in that? No, of course not.
They weren't.
How could that possibly be? This guy put 1,500 firearms into his car.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like the Noah story. Yeah. Oh, you put 2 of every fucking animal in there?
God,
dude. They didn't eat each other?
Oh, exactly. And not only that, but how are you going to feed all these animals? Oh, wait a minute.
With other animals.
Yeah. Other animals, but where are you going to fit them?
We should only have predators left.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then the predators start killing off the other predators. Because once the prey's all gone,
at least they'd be able to have a full belly for a while.
Well, and then there's also another thing about that Noah's Ark story, because you know how they say that in Noah's Ark, that Noah and his family repopulated the earth after everybody died from the flood.
Yes.
Well, if that were so, we humans would not be here, because that would mean that they are incest bred, and the incest children of the children are going to have all sorts of problems genetically. So if you don't have a diverse genetic gene pool, you're going to fucking die out.
I don't know, man.
It does not make sense that they could repopulate the earth, because for one, we would all be.
I don't know if did you watch Game of Thrones? Did you watch Game of Thrones? Those kids seem they seem to be smart enough. They weren't retarded.
They seem totally normal. Especially that Joffrey fella. He's such a good boy.
I mean, Joffrey, look, that's a model citizen.
Hey, Joffrey's just an outlier. We were talking about outliers. He's just an outlier. Don't worry about it.
That's true.
Tommen wasn't a bad guy.
No, Tommen, he actually wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't a bad guy.
I think he was too nice for being in that world.
Well, that's probably true, and that's why he killed himself.
He killed himself, yeah. He couldn't hack it.
Either that or he killed himself because he saw what season 8 was going to be.
That's entirely possible.
It was such a good fucking series until the last season.
Well, actually, it started, honestly, I started noticing problems at the end of the 7th season, but yeah,
I agree. But 7th season was still not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I felt like I noticed that they were starting to rush the story along.
Yes.
And I started going, uh-oh, this is...
And actually, that was probably the worst part of the last season. It had nothing to do with what happened. It had to do how fast it happened.
It moved so fast. Like, I mean, they spent
6 episodes.
Yeah, but not just that. They spent so much time like building up to this final battle with the Night King, and it was over in an episode.
You know what?
It just felt so.
I'm sorry, but I did not mind that episode.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually enjoyed the episode. I'm just saying I felt like there should have been more of a threat from the Night King. I felt like they got off too easy. You know.
Well, I mean? And I didn't hate the fact that there was a lot of people that they're like, oh, it was too dark, this and that.
I didn't have a problem with that.
No, the darkness that made it realistic.
Right, that actually added to the tension.
I know.
Turn your brightness up on your TV, people.
I get it. It's in a show that has dragons. Yeah. Okay, it's not realistic anyway.
No.
So let's fucking move on from that. How realistic do you want it? You know, the Night King is a fucking guy that's been dead for 1,000 years.
Yeah, and I mean
longer.
And he was like brought back to life like through magic.
Well,
through magic.
I don't know how we got on the subject of Game of Thrones through Vancouver PD.
But you know what though, you're right about Game of Thrones. That last season was extremely disappointing. I
wouldn't say it was bad. It was disappointing.
It was disappointing,
and those are different.
It just felt like the writers wanted to be done quickly, you know, because I heard, and actually, this is actually true. Before they completed the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, those guys, the showrunners of Game of Thrones, they signed on to do Star Wars films. And they were apparently after that deal was made with Disney, they started wanting to cut down, because originally they planned 10 seasons for Game of Thrones. They cut it down to 8. So I think that had was a factor.
Well, I'm sure it did. When I guarantee Star Wars gives a lot more fucking money than Game of Thrones.
Sure, for sure.
It's HBO versus Disney. Yeah. Disney, which makes like $30 million a day just from the parks.
It's ridiculous. It's probably way more than that even.
Well, okay. So I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how much Disney makes a day, or spends a day. Between the 3 parks, or is it 4 parks? I think it's 4 parks. There's one in Europe, or 2 in Europe.
Oh, they got some in Europe. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, and then there's the 2 in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And I believe they said that they spend about $16 million a day on the parks. So they got to make at least double that on the parks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be profitable to keep open.
Yeah, and then Disney with all their other fucking, ventures, which is movies and whatever else.
And they've been buying up all these other companies for years now. They own a little of fucking everything now. I mean, entertainment wise, they own a lot. They own Marvel. They own they just recently bought 20th Century Fox.
Well, that's why they got Deadpool now.
That's why they got Deadpool, and they also got Spider-Man. No, that's a deal with Sony. Them and Sony have some deal with Spider-Man because Sony had Spider-Man. Because that's the thing. Back in the day, Stan Lee and Marvel sold off the rights to all these different companies for certain characters, like for instance, X-Men and X-Men was owned by 20th Century Fox that they got.
Maybe this is a conversation for another time. I think we've gotten through pretty much everything on this one.
Yeah. No, we have.
So I would like to say goodbye to everybody.
Get off my lawn.
What? And goodbye to Kevin, who also looks like, oh fuck, you look like. Yeah, no, not Hitler this time. You're more like, God damn it, what's that guy's name from fucking Reservoir Dogs? You get killed.
Oh,
just letting you know.
Orange, Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Tim Roth,
yes, Tim Roth. You look like Tim Roth if he didn't wash his face for like a week.
Oh, Larry, I've been shot, Larry. Hold my hand, Larry.
Anyway, anybody that listened to this bullshit, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it.
And goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good night.
Yep.
See you next time.
All right. How do I turn this off? You can edit that part out.